And one of the questions I have for you in terms of inserting critical race theory into some of these vehicles or Trojan horses, like something such as social emotional learning that may have been developed with good intentions, once the virus gets in, is it possible to separate it again? So, for example, the bureaucrats in the North Carolina Department of Instruction will say, no, there's no CRT here in social emotional learning. We're just using the very basic surveys that don't have the identity matrices on it, just to make sure that that allocations are going to where they're supposed to go. So can any parent trust that at this time in this year in education? Or is there any way to expel the virus, or does the whole thing just need to crumble?
So those are two questions. No, parents can't trust anything that is being put out by one of these official administrative bodies right now. Absolutely nothing. What I continue to run into is kind of this mixture of two things, and I can't claim in any given individual, especially if I don't know them, which one is dominant, which one is maybe the only motivation, if there's some mixture. But it's a mixture of fully believing in this program and ignorance about what this program actually is, and meaning critical theory in particular. So a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, we're not talking about critical race theory. Those words never appear, but every lesson has something to do with racial equity, racial justice, racial privilege or whatever. Any of this identity-based stuff that's talking about equity, privilege, etc., is carrying this, that the viral DNA or RNA or whatever is in there. And no, parents can't actually trust these administrators or the school board members to tell them the truth, either out of ignorance or because these entities, these bodies, these administrations are filled with people who will misrepresent this stuff willfully to keep it going on. And like I said, I can't parse how much in any given individual or any given board of those two factors it is, but I see it basically in every school board in the country. So no, parents can't trust it. Now, can it be taken out? Well, of course it can. If the curriculum could be changed to this, and I'm not saying it's a short-term thing, it can be changed away from this. And so taking the focus off of privilege, off of equity, off of oppressor versus oppressed, off of identity, as a matter of fact, all of that is very straightforward, focusing on actual, achievement-based curriculum like basic mathematics, reading, literacy, scientific literacy and competence. All of those things are curricular changes and programming changes that can easily be made. The problem occurs when you either have administrators and teachers who are ignorant of it and going along with it thinking it's good. I see multicultural communities. This is not what should be going on. And then secondly, you have many others who actually think this is the way of the future. And until those problems are cleared up, both ignorance and the insertion of people who have no business. I mean, granted, it's not as bad as this probably in most places in North Carolina, but we just saw the thing in California with the literal Antifa teacher literally teaching, revolution and revolt against the country to children. And he got busted. And it's probably not that bad in most school districts in North Carolina, or I'm in Tennessee. But you do have people who are on board with this, who are present, who infiltrate these administrations. So there is no trust. And until that problem can get cleared up by putting more trustworthy people into the positions of administration and school boards and power, and starting to do some kind of an audit on curriculum and on teachers and on everything related to it, the problem's going to persist. I see the comment. I know North Carolina. I know all 50 states have teachers like this.
Yeah.
I assume there are probably more in California and more than likely in Virginia than anywhere else, because I shouldn't say that. Oregon and Washington exist too, but because those are kind of the biggest hotbeds of this problem.